Last time you saw me split the crankcases and get my crankshaft out of my T140 Bonneville. It's going to be a restomod, a desert sled type thing, and I'm hoping to ride it before its birthday in August. There's been a little bit of a gap in between the last video and this one, not too long. We've had some chilly weather, definitely cold. It's taken it about 40 minutes to put 6 degrees into here. The heat in my workshop, although I have got a diesel heater and a wall heater, isn't always conducive to me just nipping out. When I started to open this engine up, my real intention was basically to have a look and clean the sludge trap and, if possible, avoid doing too much else. Well, anyway, as you saw last time, I got the crank out and I've still got a bearing that I didn't have an appropriate puller for that's stopping me looking inside the sludge trap. In this episode, I intend remove the bearing, remove the sludge trap, have a look inside. I'm expecting it to be dirty. If it is dirty, then I'll probably remove the Conrods and I'll be giving it a good clean through. That's the intention. I didn't intend to replace all the bearings at first, but like you do, while you're in there, let's just have a go at virtually everything. And I did intend to replace the seals, so I've got myself a set of seals and a new timing cover seal. So let's see how this puller works on this bearing, and then we'll be able to hopefully get the sludge trap out. Just move these crankcase halves out of the way. The problem I had with my pullers was none of them had small enough feet to get into there. So hopefully this new one that I've bought with nice thin feet should be able to do the job. I will say a link in description. Let's hope it works. In principle, this shouldn't be on there so firm that it requires, too much strength to take it off. What I might do is heat up that inner race, but let's just see if it'll start to move at all. Like everything, it's not that keen on moving. I'm going to put a bit of heat into there. I wouldn't normally put heat into a bearing, but I'm taking it out anyway. And people have asked me in the past why I sometimes spray GT85. Well, I'm spraying it on the bit that I want to be smaller actually, so I'm hoping that that will just help shrink it a little bit, take some of the heat out of the bit that I didn't want to expand. Let's see. And now it's coming out okay. Now, as you can see, the sludge trap has obviously had some life in the past. Surprisingly though, usually this punch mark is on the cusp of this, not just on the very edge. The idea of this is to actually compress part of this thread here against it so that it'll come undone. Now, they are notoriously tight, and what I intend to do is I'm going to heat this up initially, which is a contra to what you might think, but I'm going to put heat into that so it'll push out a little bit, and if there's any Loctite or anything, hopefully it'll get rid of, it'll stop it bonding as much. Then I'll cool it all down, and then I'll heat the outside up, and I'll have a go at that with a manual impact driver. Now, bizarrely, this is a slot that it's like concave, it goes in, so there's not a specific tool that you can find easily to do this. Now I have got one, I'll have to dig it out of my toolbox and we'll see how we get on. You'll find ones that have been replaced in the past frequently have a hex in here, you know, so that you can put like an Allen key in it. Whether they're better or not, I don't know. It's interesting how quickly it cools down. As you can see my breath. So I've definitely put some heat into it now. I've clamped it into a vise to give it a bit more weight. I've got my special tool made from some brittle tool of the past and my impact driver. I'm not really expecting much at the moment, but let's just give it a few clacks and see what happens. I think it is moving. Definitely it's coming out. I've moved it quite a bit. It's actually coming out easier than I expected. I didn't think this was going to work at all at first. It usually takes a bit more of an effort, but I'm going to have to keep going like that. Chase the vise around. Not sure if this will work. I've not got it on the full chat, but let's give it a go. Oops, that's a bit warm. And there we go. Well, it definitely looks like it was worth doing. You can see the junk in there. So I need to undo the bolt on the side of the crank and then get this pulled out. So the tube that's in here is actually held in by that bolt there. So we'll undo that and then we'll see how we can get the tube out. Sometimes you need to tap something, a thread into it and just pull it. Sometimes they'll just come out. We'll see. I'll be honest, the plug for the sludge trap came out easier than I expected. And I can see that this is a job that's been worth coming to have a look at. And the amount of sludge I can see in there, and sometimes they're completely blocked, I think the last one I did was completely blocked, is sufficient to say this engine had been run for a while since it was last done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take off the Conrods, and I'll mark them so they'll go back exactly where they are, and I'll be able to look at what the big end bearings are like. Now the reason I'm doing that is because the way that the oil goes into the crank is this little spot here. It pumps in, comes up here through the sludge trap and then feeds the two big end bearings. So when I'm cleaning this, I don't want to just make sure this tube here is clean. I want to make sure the holes that come through to the big ends are clear and that this pipe tube that goes all the way through is clear as well. I've heard of people accidentally in the past giving this a really thorough clean out, not having touched this, and it turns out it was blocked. What I've done in the past is when I've cleaned it all, I'll stand it on end, put a bit of oil in here and see where it comes out. You're guaranteed you've got it in the right place then. While I've got the Conrods off, I'll be able to check the big end bearings. And no doubt I'll be buying some new ones. Hopefully, when I measure the big end journals, they'll be within spec, so I don't need to have it ground. But we'll find out when we get to that. Now, I must admit, the Conrods are a little bit more marked than I'm overly happy with. but I do think I am going to reuse them. Bizarrely though, usually you find one's got 2 dots and 2 dots, and 1 dot and 1 dot, so that you keep the pairs together. This has just got 1 dot on each. I haven't seen it done like that before. Importantly, what I need to do is make sure I mark each of the Conrods and each of the caps so that I can pair them together again, and that I can put them in the same orientation on the same journal, especially as I'm hoping to reuse bearings, or on whether I do that or not, I'm definitely going to reuse these Conrods. So when I've undone them, I'll definitely make sure I mark them in a way that I can't mistake which is the outside, so which way it goes, and the cap and the rod that goes together. What I've decided to do is to put a mark to the outside, so I know the mark's going to be on the outside, and on this one I'm going to make it so it's got 2 marks. I've seen people using pen and everything, but by the time I've cleaned these, the pen may have come off. So I now know that on the, let me just look, timing side, got the dot to the outside and 2 dots, and on the stator side I've got 1 dot, and I will put a little dot there so I know that's to the outside as well. May seem a bit brutal, but can't be mistaken then, and I've got this video to look back at. So these are interesting nuts in that they're locking ones, that's why they've got that crimp in, 1/2 inch. Let's see how easy they come off. That's that one started. And why is the camera always where you want to be? Right, they should come off okay now. That's one off. That's the other one off. Takes a bit of wriggling. And looking in there, I'm not sure if it's good news or bad news yet. So definitely these weren't worn out, but worryingly there is a mark going round. Can't really feel it with my thumb, but it is marked, and the other shell's dropped out. And that's got a score mark on it as well. So we'll have to check the journal and see how that looks, because if it's got this score mark on, then we've got a problem. If it hasn't, then we'll just need to measure it. So let's have a quick look at that. Now, although I can see marks on here that I'm not overly happy with, but I'm not overly unhappy either, there isn't any score mark going all the way around. So I will measure it and see what's going on. There's one of the holes where the oil comes through. The more I'm looking at this, the more I'm thinking it's probably going to be okay. And this one doesn't seem to have any marks on it whatsoever. That's lucky. To get the tube out, what you tend to do is screw in a tap and pull the tap out. But before I do that, I will try and get some of the dirt out that I can see. And it's quite shocking actually the sludge, and it's quite a bit. I'll try and collect all of it so that I can see how much was in there, give you some idea. I don't know what the mileage was though. Having cleaned out the first bit, I'm going to use this. It's a 5/8 UNF second tap, and basically you just want to get it so it'll start into the mouth of that, so you've actually got something to pull on. So what I'll do is I'll get this started into there, and I'll get something on here so I can try. That's it coming out okay. Really isn't as bad as I feared it might be. Let's have a quick look inside. It's difficult to show what's in here. Maybe you can see some of the junk that's at the end. I'm going to give it a good cleaning out. So the oil would be on the outside of here that would then come out into the crank under the big end bearings. So although it's got dirt in it and it is a bit grungy, worth cleaning, but I've seen them massively worse than this. The last one that I did was absolutely full in the centre, and I know this one isn't. To be honest, it's no fun when everything's freezing that you're touching, even though you've got perhaps warm air in your garage or your workshop. So yes, I'm glad that I can do this, but I'd like it to be a bit warmer. Anyway, talking about what I've been doing. The sludge trap plug came out fairly easily, so I'm quite happy about that. The sludge trap itself came out fairly easily, and it's not that dirty, which it's a good sign in lots of ways. I'm glad I've done it. It probably didn't really need it, but not at this stage, but I'm glad I've done it. I will possibly reuse this sludge trap, although I think I have got a new one knocking about, so I might dig that out and compare them next time. I used a 5/8 UNF second cut sort of tap to get into it, and you saw me fiddle about with a hammer and such like, and I did warm this up in the oven to about 60 degrees as well, mainly because I got fed up with it being cold and I can warm my hands up on it, which is great. Anyway, that's it for now. Next time I think I'll be cleaning all this out. I'll measure my crank journals to see if they are in spec. I've looked already at the shells on here, so once I've measured that, I might buy new shells while I'm in there. I've took one bearing off, so got quite a bit done this time. Look forward to next time. If you are following along, do make sure you are subscribed. Give us a like now and again, that's really encouraging. Thanks very much for watching.